7 minutes after the hour, it is Saturday. It's August 1st. Wow, where'd the summer go, Shane? Where did the summer go?
Yeah, we're going to have a year, but we're back.
Yeah.
The team is back, the dynamic duo,
That's
the
right.
mayor, the eagle man, the great one, and then your humble correspondent.
That's right. Hey, there's nothing to fear. Tom and Shane are here, and we'll take care of you for the next 3 hours. So stay tuned for that because we're always happy to be here with you guys. And thanks for joining
and
us.
I know you're going to go on to other things, but before, I want to tease. Get your hot coffee ready.
Yeah.
Don't be eating your breakfast. You may have to pull over on the side of the road because my oranges are burning today, folks, and I've got to apologize. I didn't bring this up sooner.
Yeah. All right. Shane's got a rant coming up here, so stay tuned for that. Well, I guess some of the big news, Fauci once again makes the news, and he wants I guess they think some kind of vaccine will be ready by 2021. Everybody talks about October, but 2021 seems to be the safe way to say this. So we'll see what happens there. But as we were talking off the air, I think his big deal is he would really like everything to shut down and for us to all go back in our homes and be done with it.
Another hint. Failure Fauci has never developed a vaccine.
Yeah. He just throws them out there. Administers.
No, but he is not the great one in your country. Everyone should be listening to.
Yeah.
But I'm getting to my too many hints.
Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, Fauci says he remains confident that a coronavirus will be ready by early next year, telling lawmakers that 250,000 Americans already have volunteered to take part in clinical trials. And I know we have a lot of listeners out there that aren't what I would call vaccine friends. And probably one of them is on the phone right now. So we'll just have to go see. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. If you want to be a part of the big broadcast today, caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
All right, guys, this is Jerry.
Hey,
how
Jerry,
are you?
how you doing?
Good morning, Jerry.
Doing fine. Shane, I have a quick question for you. This coming Monday, you're celebrating a civic holiday in Canada. What's that all about?
It's BC Day. It's a free holiday. Yeah.
Oh, so everybody gets the day off?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's nice. Well, I just wanted to
with pay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to calm you down before you rant.
Yeah.
So I just
You're gonna like this one. This one's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stay tuned. But I have another comment. It seems that McDonald's says you have to wear a mask when you're eating in the restaurant. Now,
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. How can you eat through a mask?
Well,
Oh, you don't? No. They're gonna put this little slit where your lips are, and they're gonna have medical tape for the top of you and bottom of your lip.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You'll look like a fish, sort of like a fish. They're sucking it in.
yeah, either that or they will blend it like
Yes.
a milkshake.
Yeah.
So have a blended burger, blended fries,
Yeah.
and a milkshake.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It'll all be through a straw. So
I knew you Swiss Army knives would have the correct answer for that.
yeah, McDonald's has contacted us, and we're ready to help whenever we can.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question also, Tom and Shane?
Sure.
Over the week, I believe they're always running these polls that Biden is very he's ahead of Trump and
Yeah.
in the election and everything else like that. And then the Democrats turn around and in the same breath they tell Trump, don't even run, just quit and give up. And I'm thinking to myself, now hang on, guys, if he's that far ahead in the polls,
Yeah.
why would you want Trump to give up?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want him to get his pants beat off so you can ridicule him, after he leaves office? I don't get these people. I really don't.
Yeah.
But that's me, guys. When you're over here in Big Timber, all you're thinking about is the fresh air, the fishing, and the farmer's market. And that's anything else is just It's just, I don't know, it's superficial in my opinion.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I was telling Shane that if they want to pass this bill with unemployment and all that stuff, the Republicans are missing a big point by not calling it the John whatever bill, the guy that died.
Oh, John Lewis?
John Lewis bill.
Yeah, I'm telling the Eagle Man's up on this stuff, buddy.
And I thought about something too. If this system that they're talking about is systemically racist, why do the Democrats want to expand the system and make it more systemically racist?
Well,
I don't get that either.
Well,
I'm so confused, fellas. That's why I listen to you, so I can,
right.
I can get straight.
That's
well,
right.
Have a great weekend, and Shane, I can't wait to hear your rant.
All right. All right. Thanks for the call, Jerry. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah. If they call it the John Lewis bill, that would be good. So let's take another call before you do your rant, Shane. Caller, you're on the air. What's up? You're on the air. What's up?
Hello.
Hi there. What's up?
I wanted to say, they keep badgering about this vaccine, and that we really never had a vaccine for any of these viruses that actually works. But the thing is Fauci, Gates, all their family, their grandkids, their uncles, their aunts, they need to be the first ones to take the vaccine, and we'll wait a couple years and see how it works out for them. Then they can be the canary in the coal mine as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, that's a good idea. I like that.
And Fauci, as far as I'm concerned, I think most people, he is a little dictator, and he's got too much power. He's too old. This went to his head a long time ago, and he's just on the draw for the government payroll. And all these people that won't listen to these other folks that are stepping up, these other doctors, and you probably heard that gal from Kenya, actually. Isn't that ironic?
Oh, yeah, we got to shut her up.
She said nobody ought to be dying from this stuff, and they make fun of our great president for misquoting him about drinking Lysol. I wish all those folks would step up to the plate and drink the Kool-Aid, Lysol. If that's it, we'd probably have a lot less problems in the world right now, too. If they think that's what he said, go ahead and go for it. So,
there you go.
But, it's crazy out there. I just hope they can get these school kids back to school and everything, too.
Mm-hmm.
I run a business, I won't say what, but I deal with a lot of people over this last 2 years, and especially this year I've been more busy than ever, but I could have been a pollster, and there's a lot of folks out there that wouldn't put a Trump sticker on or anything else, their vehicle. Some of them have never voted, but I've got to visit with tons and tons of people this year, and I think unless they can screw with the vote by messing up the mail-in ballots or whatever they're going to try to do, I think that we still got a good chance for another good 4 years to try to get this mess cleaned up.
Yeah.
So that's
your rant.
That's my rant. And enjoy listening to you guys, and have a good day.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot. We appreciate that very much. All right. So let's see from our text line. So you had your meeting with Scott. Are you coming back? Well, I think we are, but I'm not. We don't have a definitive date yet as to when that's going to happen. So we'll keep you posted on that. But we hope to make it back here soon, sometime in the near future. So back on the morning show. So, but that's where we are. So. All right.
Good job. And you're great negotiator.
I know.
You read that Trump book, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he called me before he wrote it, and wanted to know.
Small businesses, because he went big.
Yeah, he went big business. So, all right. You got 15 minutes to rant. What's your rant, man? Go for it.
Well, I thought you wanted to do the Chronicle.
Well,
no. Here we go.
Go ahead.
All right, folks. No. Now, I apologize. I should have brought this up weeks ago, particularly when we came back on the Saturday show, and I mentioned it briefly last week because of Zika, the Zika virus. So here we go. The National Institute of Health is the primary agency of the United States government responsible for biomedical and public health research. Now, it's called the National Institutes, plural, of Health, because there are a number of different institutes within it. It was formed in 1887. It's in Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. 20,262 employees, 6,000 of them are researchers, scientists. All right, hold on to your seat. Yeah, hoax was a good one. You're going to love this. Annual budget, $39 billion. Its parent agency is the Department of Health and Human Services when they realigned everything after 9/11. And they have, child agency for the National Cancer Institute. You've heard that. They also have the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, and the National Library of Medicine. You can go to nih.gov to look up about it, or Wikipedia to learn more. But let's get on to one of their most favorite lads in the Institute. This would be the famous Dr. Stephen A. Fauci. Wow, what an interesting guy. Director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. He assumed that office, he assumed office at the NIH at 28. Interesting. He finishes medical school, and the first job he gets is at the National Institute of Health, running the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. This guy must have been smart. Think about that. He started in 1984. That was when Reagan was in office. Went to college at the Holy Cross, got his medical degree at Cornell University. He's been awarded some of the most prestigious awards, the Maxwell Finland Award in '89, the Ernst Young Prize in '96, Lasker Award in 2007, Medal of Freedom 2008, that was from Obama, Robert Koch Prize Gold Medal in 2013. Now, why has this fellow been so successful at the National Institute of Health? Well, it seems that he's been a part of some major health crises in your country. And let's just discuss three of them to this point. HIV, Zika, and of course, the COVID-19. And the interesting aspect about all three of these is that the first two, and Ebola, of course, but the first two that he was involved with, HIV and Zika, never developed a vaccine for either of those. But guess what was developed to cure, or not cure, but allow people to have a managed lifestyle or recover from them? Therapeutics. Oh, my goodness gracious. Do you remember that word, therapeutics? Your president has talked about therapeutics all along, and Fauci said, no, we need a vaccine. We have to go at this strong. Well, yeah, because the guy's been an absolute failure. So let's start with the Zika virus. Okay, well, the Zika virus, you may all remember that. This occurred in 2015-16 as an outbreak. Interestingly enough, as I reported on our podcast last week, I believe it was, wasn't it? Didn't I say something about this last week, I think?
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, in 2015, Obama administration, there was a problem at the National Institute of Health because the Republicans were holding back funding. So guess what happens? Well, it's apparent that Obama calls in the great doctor, because the United States on April 29th of that year, the CDC confirms the first Zika-related death in the U.S. occurred in February 2016. And Zika first appeared in Puerto Rico in December of 2015. Now, this is a disease that's been around for over 100 years. Science has known about it for that long. It's an infectious disease principally delivered by mosquitoes. So some of you may recall all the hysteria back then, if you're even a millennial, about southern Florida and pregnant women and the disastrous danger of pregnant women being infected. And, they were blast furnacing all over South Africa and the Everglades night and day with planes and boats. And they just didn't have trains, or they would have used those, to try and wipe out the mosquitoes in a tropical area of southern Florida. Right, like that was going to work. So anyway, the outbreak itself resulted in what was interesting, and that was a meeting with none other than Mr. Fauci, President Obama, and Vice President Biden, and U.S. Secretary of Health at the time and Human Services, Sylvia Burwell, National Institute of Allergy, Dr. Fauci, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director, Tom Frieden. And they all met in the White House on May 20th, 2016. Why? Well, because of the Zika virus. It was coming to the U.S., and they had an immediate cause. Now, remember, this is on the basis of the National Institute of Health not being funded. They wanted $1.5 billion, I recalled in my reporting earlier this week. Did a deep dive. Turns out the Republicans coughed up $1.1 billion for the National Institute of Health that year. And then guess what? If you remember this, incredibly, 2 months later, what happens? The Zika virus disappears. But there was Mr. Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci, telling the United States, this is a terrible disease and it's going to cross the country and everybody's going to be attacked by the mosquito and the Zika virus. And it was all over the news. He was doing interviews on CBS. You can go back and look at him. It's incredible. He was in the New York Times and the Washington Post. So he wasn't kidding. You know, the other day when he was in the congressional hearing that he says he's been preparing for the COVID-19 virus for all of his life. Yeah, right. Unsuccessfully. Now, I say this only because on the back of the HIV problem that occurred, he also convinced Reagan, as you know, or didn't know, in 1985, to take a second look at the HIV issue, and Reagan agreed to finance the National Institutes of Health to look into this issue. They couldn't come up with, guess what, a vaccine, but they did come up with therapeutics which have allowed people with this disease to have a managed lifestyle ever since. And that was a remarkable thing. It was great for the world. It was great for Africa. And of course, as a result of that, guess who he meets? Well, he meets Dr. Birx. And Dr. Birx ends up being the lead scientist for the National Institutes of Health in South Africa, particularly trying to fight back the development of HIV. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, this is not a person America should be listening to. Yes, he's a very accomplished doctor. Yes, he works at the National Institutes of Health, but he's had absolutely zero success in any kind of viral response to any viruses that he's looked at. The man is 78 years old. He's been there since he was 28. Don't people retire around 65? Is he the only person they have that knows diseases? It's one of these things, and the questions that you start asking yourself is, why are we listening to this guy now? Why is he the picture of America? And doesn't he, to me, he sounds like the guy running the World Health Organization, because he's taken on this role of public health policy and been able to convince the American people of all of these dastardly issues, especially his war against therapeutics, which is the only medication he's developed to fight viruses. Explain that one. So anyway, that's my rant. I wanted you to have a better understanding and some context of who they put out there in front of the camera. Well, you know, the media, the woke media, to force this issue on Americans, and then deny things like he did in the congressional hearing when asked about large groups of people protesting and whether that was dangerous or not, and saying, well, I can't really express an opinion about that. Well, you have about people not being able to go to church, or people being able to sing, or people being able to gather for funerals or weddings or graduations. even if they do wear a mask. Well, I insist if you're outside, you should wear a mask, and if you're at a gathering, you should wear a mask. And so there you are, folks. Something to think about at breakfast this morning, because it sure sounds like this guy had a bent to his reasoning to come forward with all of this. And we sort of touched on it because I'm convinced he's one of these wants to save the planet guys. All right, because this has worked out better than there's Soylent Green, the Green Deal to save the world and all of us within 12 years. So happy to report, your local correspondent, and back to you, Eagle Man.
All right. Hey, thanks, Shane. A couple of things from our app chat line. The 2008 Medal of Freedom was given by Bush, not Obama, listener points out. And Fauci has gotten a vaccine for HIV when he was first commissioned by Reagan in 1982.
There is no vaccine for HIV.
Yeah, not that I know of anyway. There's treatment for it, and the treatment's gotten better.
Therapeutics, drugs, a combination, therapeutic combination. The strongest one is 3 different drugs.
Yeah.
Or creation. They have about 54 drugs. 54 therapeutic drugs that doctors can pick from to check with, your blood and everything in your body to see what works best.
Yeah, what will work for you. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298. Last week, I go through McDonald's drive-thru, order 2 cheeseburger meal, walk inside. They start screaming at me because I don't have a mask on. I calmly say, if you would get my order right, I wouldn't be in here. They kept yelling at me and wouldn't give me my cheeseburger. Guess I should have looked in the bag at the window. Point of my story is this mask thing is dumb, and this country has gone mad. So there we are. So that's a good way to win our first half hour, huh, Shane? All right, it is 29 after the hour. Shane and I will return right after the important words at the bottom of the hour. We've got weather coming up. We've got Fox News and some other things. So stay tuned. We will return right after these important words. 26 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Saturday, August 1st, 2020. Tom and Shane on the air on Saturday. And Shane, we just passed 5,233 downloads of our shows. So that's pretty amazing, I think.
As I say, someone's listening.
Someone must be listening out there. I don't know who they are, but we're glad they're there anyway. So. That's very humbling for us to have that many downloads, 5,000. I remember when I first set this thing up, I was looking at some of the other podcasts, and I thought, gosh, here's somebody with 1,400. How'd they get that? Here we're here at 5,200 on our way to 10,000. So, we'll find out. But, we also, I think I should point out, obviously, we record all of our shows. We are recording this one. We had some snafus last week and couldn't record last Saturday's show, but this one will be up later on. And, of course, we do a Facebook podcast every day, but you do not have to be on Facebook to see that. You can just go to KMMSAM.com and click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you can access our Facebook podcast on YouTube and see us flawlessly operate the program. Or listen to the audio, either or. You get your choice. So it's pretty simple. Let's take some phone calls, Shane. People want to get on the air here and chat with us. So, caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Yes, I just tuned in here just at the tail end of what Shane was talking about, Dr. Fauci. I don't know if this information was included or not, but Dr. Fauci went around a moratorium placed on what was referred to as chimeric research in viruses. It basically is where they take a base virus and then they splice other viruses into it. The moratorium was placed because researchers felt it was far too dangerous, that there were so many unknown consequences to that type of research. And Dr. Fauci went around that and made sure that funding was continued for that. A lot of that took place at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And then in 2015, that research and the results of that were transferred to China, to the facility in Wuhan, China. And it just so happens that one of the researchers at Chapel Hill was a Chinese woman who became the head at that facility in Wuhan, China. In addition to that, he's been responsible for continuing the funding for more research through the World Health Organization. And I can't imagine that people in the Trump administration are unaware of this, so I'm very puzzled as to why he is put at the forefront of all of this stuff. I think in one respect he does know more than probably a lot of people, so maybe he has some value there, but the fact that he has been so insistent on promoting research that's very dangerous is very troubling.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. Well, we've never been faced with anything like this before. I mean, we've been faced with viruses before. This one, fortunately, doesn't have the death toll that even flu and some of the other viruses that we've had in the past, but yet we've, for whatever reason, shut down the whole country based on a couple of people's recommendations, and the economy went in the tank because of it.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation, and it seems at times they're kind of disappointed that the death toll wasn't more. And, they've kind of cooked the books and padded all the figures for deaths, including people that, it was just a couple of weeks ago, a doctor in Florida blew the whistle on somebody that died in a motorcycle accident was included in the COVID-19 deaths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because they tested positive, so they were thrown in there. And we got 40% of the people that have died in nursing homes, I guess. And when you take 40% out of the 150,000, you're a small town in Montana that we've lost in the United States.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of deceit that's going on with this, and I certainly hope that people start to wake up and do their own research on it.
Yeah. And it needs to be mentioned too, Ebola, MERS, and SARS, 3 terrible viruses. People died from them. 3 things in common. Number 1, not transferable. Hard to transfer from one person to another. Number 2, mortality. Ebola 80%, SARS 60%, MERS 85%. So these are 3 incredible viruses. Guess who brought them to the forefront, folks? Fauci. And guess what he wanted? Search for a vaccine. Did they find one for any of those? No. Therapeutics, some with Ebola, so the recovery rate has dropped significantly. But the mortality rate on all 3 of those was horrific. Why did they not become issues? They couldn't transfer, so they didn't accelerate. And they just simply, literally went away or back into the forest, so to speak.
All right. Hey, thanks.
One other point. He's downplayed hydroxychloroquine as a way to combat this, and yet they're promoting I can't think of the name, Primeravin or something of that nature. Yes. Just so happens he has a substantial financial interest in that particular drug.
That's right, and that was a result of what you started out your comments about DNA splicing. Folks, this is one of the most dangerous research areas. The ethics that you can read about the medical community on splicing DNA is horrific. All the ethical papers written on it have been negative, and you shouldn't go there. But as the gentleman has properly said, to get around that, Dr. Fauci and his buddies at the National Institutes of Health freely gave it to China to work with because they didn't want to deal with it and have bad press.
Yeah,
there you are.
We wouldn't want that. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks for the call. All right. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is Clint.
Hey, Clint.
Morning, good sir.
Hi. Well, I appreciate you guys listening to an old guy, but the fellow that was on before me spoke very intelligently about what was going on, and what he said was facts. I got a little scenario here that I want to tell you about, and maybe you two guys are smart, and maybe you can answer this. Now, I got a daughter and a grandson that live in St. George, Utah, and my daughter, she teaches television stuff at Dixie University, all right? Now, her son is working for a big chain company there, and he got the COVID, all right? He quarantined, he's over it, and then he went and got tested, and he still has it. So he's got to wait another 10 days and to see if he can go back to work. Now, what I'm wondering, maybe you smart guys can answer this, maybe that COVID will stay with you for a long, long time. And if it does, the employer isn't one going to hire you, so the economy is going to go down the tube a little more. So how do you guys respond to something like that?
Well, there are some people who have a disposition or a health issue, and I don't mean diabetes or things like that. I mean, they can be perfectly healthy, but their body resists diseases in various ways. So they're I'll give you a perfect example. The Broadway actor had a issue with blood clots, lost his leg, and still died. But I mean, he's a healthy 40-year-old. So
Clint, here's the answer to your question. Over 100 years ago, science had a problem called polio, and they went at it night and day, and they developed a vaccine, as you know, for polio. So every effort from that point on in the 20th century to deal with viruses was either herd immunity or develop a vaccine. And of course, chicken pox and smallpox became issues, which they developed vaccines, which in the 50s and 60s became government intention for all children to be vaccinated against those and some other diseases. Now you run into the 80s where science starts researching all the people that had taken these vaccines to find out really how dangerous they were, because they didn't have protocols. And that's when the FDA stepped in and was developed to set protocols to determine the risk of taking a vaccine. Now you roll into the 80s and 90s with these new viruses that appeared, like we've already talked about, HIV, Zika, and Ebola. And the effort was, of course, to come up with a vaccine. So the problem that you're felt with is the body's reaction to all of these and therapeutics. Here's the bottom line. They don't go away. Vaccines are here. When we find one, discover one, there's over 3,000. We've talked about this. Your body builds a natural immunity to it. And that's why your president was at the blood bank, the Red Cross Blood Bank Hospital this week, talking about utilizing people's bloods that have had COVID and produce immunities they can extract from their blood and then provide to other people to enhance their immune system. So it's all about your immunity, baby. It's all about your DNA, how strong you are. Once you have a vaccine, your body does not dispose of it. What has happened is your immune system has overwhelmed it. Well, it's just like, you know what it's like, Clint? It's like flies. Your body's full of fly eggs, and your immune system, represses them until you die. And then when it shuts down, guess what? It consumes your body. Flies.
Here's the thing. My grandson's name's Casey, and he's 25 years old, and he lifts weights. He's a big, husky young man, okay? Mm-hmm. And he has nothing else wrong with him, absolutely nothing. So my question is, will this COVID-19, even after he sheds it off, supposedly, will it stay with him?
Yes.
Can it reoccur? And if
excuse me for interrupting, but to answer your question is, yes, it can reoccur, as in the case of smallpox. It reoccurs as shingles later in life, particularly if you've taken the vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now what's the key?
Everybody's body's different. No one's the same. No one's DNA is the same.
Well, the way I got it figured out here, especially here in town, I see these people in town here, these restaurants and stuff, suffering something greatly. And then if this COVID-19 stays with you and you're plumb healthy and you get tested again, they won't let you come back to work, which they
Absolutely.
won't let you come back to work till he's shed of it. Is it going to stay with him forever, or is it eventually going to go away, or he'll get it again maybe?
No, it won't. And here's another example, HIV. In all the studies they've done, people that have the HIV virus will go in quarterly, every 3 months or 4 months and have a blood test to get their medications for it. And the doctors look at it, and it's a complete analysis of your blood. And what they look at is your T cell count. If your T cell count, they can't identify the HIV virus in you, but they can determine that you have it by your T cell blood count. So if it drops below 700, if it drops down to 100 or even 90, you're in deep trouble. And that's how they make that determination. So, yes, you're absolutely correct. Every time you get a blood test, the virus will show up, and it's a marker for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Okay, well, you've answered.
Yeah. Thanks, Clint.
Thanks.
All right. All right. That caller left. So, yeah, I don't know. There's so many things we don't know about this thing. I mean, there's more we don't know than what we do know. And that's the issue. We're dealing with it day by day. And, to say that we should have done this, we should have done that, hindsight's always 20/20. We should have done something different in World War II, to shorten it. We should have done something in 1929 to fix the Depression quicker, but, hindsight's just not going to work. So from our text line, 478-8298, it's sad when people believe a doctor will risk their career to list a motorcycle death as COVID. What if I told you the internet has lots of misinformation? Well, it could be. For the love of God, Fauci has no financial interest in drug companies or vaccines. Just stop the nonsense. Research does not mean Alex Jones or Q. People are so easily fooled to believe conspiracy theories.
Well, we're not discussing conspiracy theory here.
Yeah.
We're talking about science and medicine. And the difficulty that everyone should have is look at those doctors that appeared in Washington, D.C. at a conference a week ago, came outside from the conference and declared that hydroxychloroquine was a therapeutic that can be used and shouldn't be blocked by governors or pharmacies. Not only did they take it down from the internet everywhere, all the platforms did, but they wiped it out or attempted to. Interestingly enough, one of the doctors that spoke at that interview was fired because she went back to her hospital where she's worked at for 20 years in the emergency room dealing with this. And the hospital gave her cause for her being fired was she embarrassed the hospital by making the statement.
Yeah.
So doctors right now are, in this cancer culture, doctors are now being canceled because of their support of a therapeutic that may work. It may not with everyone, but a combination of therapeutics, as we know, with other things may prevent it. And certainly in early stages of being aware that the patient has it may help. Doesn't help a patient after they've gotten the COVID-19 and it's already doing its dirty deed. But none of this should be blocked. Everything should be looked at. Everything should be talked about. And next time you listen to Dr. Little Fauci, listen to what he says very carefully. One thing he has been planning all of his life about this, because he's been on the news so much for the last 30 years, is how to answer a question. And his ability to deny or not express an opinion about certain things tells you what a problem he is being a spokesman about this for the American people. His denials are far worse than his claims, because we all know his claims are reverse changed. He's for it before he's against it. He's against it before he's for it. And that is not a way to set government policy and political and economic policy.
All right. From our text line, 478-8298. Went in yesterday to get a COVID test done. What a cluster. Montana needs to get their act together if they're wanting more people to get tested. Let's see. One of the most disturbing developments around the banning by all the major big tech social platforms of the front doctor's video within 24 hours is the realization that 1984 is here. It is just that because of Big Brother. It's Big Tech Brother. War is peace, peace is war. A proven COVID cure is poison, and leaked videos seem to show that Google has decided that they will do everything possible to defeat Trump in 2020. So, yeah.
After the last election, he gathered, the people at Google gathered their staff, and they said that they had failed the American people so badly in 2016 because Trump got elected. So come on, folks.
Well, they tried as hard as we tried. We couldn't defeat Trump. So they had that big meeting that the stuff was leaked, and it was a fiasco. So there's no question that social media, all run by liberals, all of them. Unfortunately, I don't know why conservatives can't think of stuff like that. So. Let's take another phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to say, if anybody watched Mr. Fauci throw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
Strike one.
This guy's supposed to be an athlete. He was a basketball player in high school. You tell me the guy can't throw a baseball 10 feet?
I want to jump to another interesting thing about athletes. Mr. Biden was an all-district high school football player, but couldn't go to Nam or whatever war he would have been in because he had asthma. You ever hear him say anything about that?
No.
I just wanted to say these two things. When he threw out the first pitch, it was terrible. That's strike one. He's wearing a jersey with number 19. If any of you believe any of this isn't anything but power after watching that and control, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Stand for?
He wore number 19. Number 19 on his jersey. I'm sorry. If we don't see this, you're just blind and you deserve what's coming to you. But,
and then he goes and sits in the stands and takes his mask off with the person on either side of him with no social distancing. I like that. I mean, come on, people. Pay attention.
Yeah. And then the other thing I just want to say, whenever you guys do get the morning show back, which I'm hoping will happen, please, when you announce it and make a commercial to announce it, use the reclaiming my time. Gotta get back to work, guys.
Okay. Okay. All right. I will do that. Yeah. All right. Let's take one more call here. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I just wanted to mention the Support the Blue rally yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
How'd it go?
Very well. A couple hundred cars up and down. We went from Belgrade and then went into Bozeman, up and down Main Street, and they, we heard all these things that there was going to be protesters really trying to, upset the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, there was a handful of, anywhere from probably 16 to 20-year-old. They're holding up signs. We are Antifa. These they were all white.
Yeah.
Little privileged, white kids holding up their BLM signs, and there was a couple of them driving up and down Main Street. But the funny part was, we were driving by when we were first getting into town, and it was right across from, just as you come into town, I think by Grant Street there. But there was a black guy walking down the street with a white guy, and he's holding his thumb up, said, thumbs up, guys.
Oh, good.
And right across the street from the BLM Antifa movement. And they were showing their mastery of the English language. And they knew sign language, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they knew sign language. They have two words, F you. Yeah. That's it. That's all they can say.
Yeah.
And I asked them if they knew who 4-year-old Legend was. They have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea, and you know what? They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Hey, and I want to remind people, we are walking every Thursday night, 6:30, from the Veterans Memorial in Lindley Park. If you hear that it's canceled, it is not. We are not canceling. I was there Thursday night. We only had about 12 to 15 people.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you a great story. Right on the corner, there was a couple, and this guy was just grinning ear to ear as we walked by. And he said to me, he goes, "This is so great. We're from Washington, D.C., and you would never see this in Washington, D.C.
All right, I got to go. I'm sorry, I'm up against the clock here. Hey, thanks for the call, and we'll put it out. Everybody will be out there Thursday, so thanks for the call.
All right, thank you.
All right, appreciate it. All right, that's going to wrap it up for our first hour here. We still got 2 full hours to go, so stay tuned. A lot more Tom and Shane to come when we come back. We'll read some more folks from the text line and some other things. We got a lot of topics to talk about, so stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. It's 7 minutes after the hour of 9 a.m. Mountain Time. It's Saturday, August 1st, 2020, and we've got a caller patiently waiting on the line that Shaman Tobin has determined is worthy of airtime. So let's go to the phones. Caller, you are on. What's up?
Yeah, I don't know that he determined the effectiveness of my call, but I'll give it a shot anyway.
All right, go for it.
The governor issued his stay-at-home directive on March 20th.
Yeah.
Now, there's a website out there, not the virus website, the official numbers, and it's studying this virus graph.
Mm-hmm.
March 26th, the numbers are already dropping down. And obviously there's a gestation period on this thing. I don't know, 2 days to 2 weeks. But clearly, their own chart says the numbers were dropping down when he made the order, stay-at-home directive, March 26th.
Yeah.
Likewise, and by the way, if the numbers continue to drop for the next 30 days. Now, it might appear that the directive was the cause of numbers dropping, but that's clearly not the case in studying their own chart. It was beginning to drop. Likewise, he ordered the mask directive on July 15th, and same thing, numbers are already dropping. So if he's going to take credit for that, he's not reading his own charts. And I'm telling you, he's not reading the charts, because what do you wait till the thing peaks out and then make your order? They can tell it's peaking out. And by the way, this chart is pretty hokey. It gives the actual cases of positive coronavirus, and it gives the projected cases. In other words, what the state thinks are going to be. Guess what? Those two numbers are way far apart, especially in July. It's been dropping looks like it's been dropping since early July. And then he gives his directive on the 15th, and it continues to drop. But their estimations were just the opposite. They showed that the numbers were going to go way, way up, but they didn't go up. So I guess my complaint is our leadership here is abysmal. These people not reading their own information. They're sitting here scaring the heck out of everybody. And for what reason? Why is the governor trying to take credit? I guess he's taking credit for this dropping numbers when it's clear by looking at their own charts that the governor doesn't have anything to do with it. These are dropping before he makes his orders. So what's your thoughts, Tom?
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you there. I think, as we were talking earlier, we don't know how this thing really, we have speculation how it works, but we don't know if it's airborne transfer. We don't know if it's service. We don't know. Will wearing masks help? There's no definitive direction on the kind of mask you should wear. We got people in bandanas. We got people in cloth masks. We got people in paper masks. The 6 feet is pretty definitive. The,
Sure.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds is pretty definitive. but we don't have a mask standard that will.
And what about the eyes? What
Well, that
about
too,
the
yeah.
other orifices on the face, the
Sure.
skin, and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, did you hear that the great Dr. Fauci now is saying to people, because Tom and I talked about this 3 weeks ago, you should be wearing goggles or a face shield now.
Yeah, God.
Well,
Sunglasses will not help.
How about a spacesuit with a bubble head?
Well, there you are. You need a hazmat suit to walk around Bozeman, I guess.
We can have the drones deliver our food. We can all basically stay home. That's the only time you're going to be safe, people,
Yeah.
is if you stay home. I guess God did not give us an immune system.
Apparently
We
not.
get our immune system from the government.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
just a little perturbed about our leadership right now.
Mhm.
You know, I don't care about Republican and Democrat. That's not it.
Yeah.
What we've got at the top of this state is a governor that is not preventing the virus in any way that I can tell. Oh, mask?
Yeah.
Mask's going to prevent? That's a debatable subject, like you're saying.
It is, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the numbers are not panning out. This 1st of August, the numbers have been dropping all of July. They've dropped.
Yeah.
And yet in the middle of July, he issues this ridiculous command and control routine: wear a mask, take your shoes off, hold your hand up.
Yep.
You know what's next? We're going to walk around on our knees next. Anyway, I'm a little PO'd at the governor, and I wish he'd get his head out of his mask or something.
Yeah.
So,
I never would have guessed you're upset now.
yeah. All right. Later.
Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
Oh, morning. I'm David. I'm the guy from San Francisco.
All right, Dave, what's up?
Well, I heard the discussion there about they're kind of poo-pooing the COVID. That thing turns your lungs to concrete, and it does get in. I mean, the fact that it goes for your lungs.
Whoa. Stop, back up, because we were not poo-pooing COVID. We acknowledged the danger. We acknowledged how invasive it is. We acknowledged the mortality rate. So please don't start by saying we said something we didn't. Go ahead.
Well, it sure sounds like downplaying it, because this thing does turn.
If you were listening, we were poo-pooing Fauci and the dismal historical record he has with viruses at the National Institutes of Science.
Center for Disease Control, Institute for Science, which agency?
The National Institutes of Science.
Okay, well, science is different than medicine. You know, there's more like physics and engineering in science, chemistry as well.
Excuse me, the overall National Institutes of Health. He's been there since he was 28. He's 78 now. That's 50 years, and he's in charge of the National Institute of Infectious Diseases.
Well, let's see. If this is the worst epidemic we've had since 1918.
No, it's not. You're wrong. The worst epidemic was 2001 H1N1. 1.4 billion people were infected worldwide in less than a year, and 700,000 people died.
Okay. I'll stand corrected on that, but that's worldwide, not the United States. And if he
it was bad in the United States, and President Obama didn't recognize it and call it a public problem until October, 6 months into. After 64,000 Americans died, you've lost over 60,000 Americans every year from the H1N1 since 2009. That's over 600,000 Americans have died from H1N1. No vaccine has properly worked. Last year, 170 million people took the vaccine, and 65 million people were still infected.
So my bigger point, and I don't know if you've seen this brand new article it's in Vanity Fair, and it talks about when this thing got, exposed in February and March, and Trump put Jared on the task, right? So Jared is supposed to be the kingpin of getting COVID resolved. So Jared came
That's
up.
not true. The head of the task force is your vice president. It was not Jared. It was Jared and Trump that brought in the vice president to discuss in January.
Let's see, how often have they met?
Excuse me, with Fauci and his sidekick, what's her name?
Birx.
Brenda
Birx.
Birx.
Yeah.
And they told him how dangerous the potential was of this Wuhan Chinese virus, an act of war that they released on the world. And he made the decision on the 29th of January to ban flights from China and the first week of February to ban flights from New York, saving hundreds of thousands of American lives. Go ahead.
So are you saying, well, I'm not even going to give you the word on it because this is not a germ warfare thing. This is a pollution disease. And the fact of the matter
you're
is,
wrong.
Whoa.
This is the third time the Chinese have released a virus on the United States.
Okay, so I'm not even going to dignify that. The article I'm talking about is brand new, Vanity Fair. It's about Jared and how the testing equipment disappeared, poof, just disappeared. And so it turns out that the Trump administration figured out that it was hitting the blue states worst. So he decided to cut off the testing so that the blue states would make their governors look bad, and Trump would.
You know that's not true. You know that's not true. Making that statement.
Where are
it's
the
not
tests?
true.
Where are the tests this minute? People are sitting in line for 13 hours in Arizona.
15 different types of tests in less than 5
No, they have not.
They're testing more people than anyone else in the world.
5 months. The World Health Organization owns the patent on tests. The reason why Trump is
no, that's not true.
The World Health Organization.
Wrong.
Yeah, it's open patent. There's no private corporation that owns the patent on the tests the World Health Organization uses. It's public domain.
That's why
so they're cheap and they're easy to use.
That's why he developed.
You're a business show.
Abbott Labs came up with a new test kit that is being used all across your country. They've sent out 1.4 million test kits across your country and can tell you within 5 to 15 minutes if you're infected.
Read this article. You'll find out about all the different tests.
I believe Vanity Fair. This is the guy that. This is an article. This is a magazine that Fauci on the cover.
Hey. Tests. Dozens of different tests. Some of them work. Some are faulty. So this goes into an article, or this goes into a paymaster issue of like $500 million that was owed to, was it Dubai, that put together a few million masks, or a few million tests, and they never got paid on them, so they were sitting in a warehouse till they rotted. The whole idea that Jared came up with a serviceable plan, but Trump decided to allow the blue states to die because he wanted to make their governors look bad. And this thing has got spread so bad that in Florida, 1 in 3 people in Florida have got it.
Well, I would put it that it's not Trump. Most of
Trump.
No, it isn't.
It's Trump.
Trump didn't stop the health department from shutting down Bozeman. Trump didn't have anything to do with it. It was done locally.
Well, if your health department is smart enough to shut it down, then they're smart and they can outrank Trump. Trump hasn't got the ability to force something on the state, but the health department can say this is dangerous. Don't believe the fool in the White House.
And that's what they did in Florida.
It's going to get you killed.
That's what they did in Florida.
Well, in Florida, they've got 1 in 3 people have got it now. Start looking in the infection rates throughout the country. Go down to Texas. They're better than 1 in 4 people have got it in Texas. They're showing up. I think it's actually 27% of the people in Texas are showing up positive.
Yeah. They're doing more testing.
Here in San Francisco, we shut down in early February, and we're sitting at 2%.
I know, you are.
L.A. is sitting at something like 7%. There's middle of California, they're sitting at as high as 17%.
What's the average age of the coronavirus infectees?
What's that?
What's the average age of the coronavirus?
Are you on a death panel? Are you on a death panel saying the old people can die?
No, what's the average age
of coronavirus death? Who's expendable here? Who's expendable? Are you saying we can just throw away anybody that's
explain to that 600,000 Americans that have died from H1N1 since 2009. And other diseases that they're not being cared for in hospitals. Because
have you got medical shares and you're profiteering from this thing? You're on a financial show. I'm serious.
No.
Read this article, Vanity Fair.
All right, we'll do
Talking
it.
about the masks going poof, disappearing.
All right.
This thing is a setup. Trump is trying to get blue states killed, and he screwed up, and now he's getting his red states killed.
Yeah. Well, the health departments of each state has their say. It's not Trump.
Well, see, where's the hot state? Is Florida a red state?
He's got no power there.
The president's made it pretty clear to the country and the world. It's up to the states, the individual states' governors to determine what to do in their states.
In an epidemic?
Yeah.
In an epidemic, and he cuts off supplies.
You're the one who said
he cut off the supplies.
He cannot shut a state down. He has no power to shut a state down economically.
He cut off FEMA supplies. He cut off...
Buddy,
he cut off the military.
You said it. It's up to the states to decide it. It's up to the governor to determine whether a state is stayed open
United
or
you
shut
stand, divided you fall?
Did you...
United you stand, divided you fall.
Right. Have you listened to Cuomo every day, every single day, talking about the virus in New York?
Yeah, and they were lucky they got it down from 2 people dying a minute. Or excuse me, they were dying.
Yeah, after a Holocaust, he's sending infected people back to care homes.
Yeah.
And the highest rate of death among people in your country is New York, where over 42% of the people that died there died because of his order of March 25th, instructing hospitals to send infected people back to their care homes.
Supplies to New York?
Well, they didn't cut off supplies. They built a hospital at the Javits Center, and they also brought a ship in. They brought a ship in.
It took them a couple of weeks to get it there.
Oh, I'm sorry. It took 2 weeks to get a ship to New York. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look it up.
And
look it up.
Right. And the glass tower where Hillary was going to have her victory parade on 2016.
Yeah,
the center downtown. 2,000 beds were put up in that center, sir, in 3 days by the Army Corps of Engineers. And the governor of New York and the mayor of New York City never put one person in it. So please don't come on the program and make statements like this, because all you're talking about is what you listen on woke news. You don't even read it.
He wasn't allowed to. Remember, they didn't want to infect the boat. So that's when they ended up
talking about
into
downtown New York, 2,000 beds were set up.
He slammed them into the nursing homes because that ship wouldn't take them on board, right?
But the Javits Center would. The Javits Center would.
You're both on the death panels, are you?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so there we go.
Because you don't read anything.
I read plenty, and the fact of the matter is, Trump is
you
trying
wouldn't be
to
making
get
the statement you're making right now if you. The Javits Center in downtown New York had 2,000 beds set up for never used.
Who would try to kill Americans?
Yeah.
Trump is trying to kill Americans.
Your governor of New York did.
No, he did not, and don't lie about that. He's trying to kill Americans.
25th, even admitted to it during his daily press conference when asked about it. He said people are going to die.
He's trying to kill blue state, right? You know it.
Governors are the only ones that control their states.
All right, guys, we can't talk over each other. Okay.
All of these supplies were withheld. FEMA supplies. He had the opportunity to develop the Military Contracting Act, the Emergency Contracting Act. He didn't do it for weeks. I'm telling you, I'm in San Francisco.
All of those were enacted in February. We reported it, talked about all of them, explained how it works.
They didn't come into effect.
And it's emergency. It's the Emergency Manufacturing Act.
Yeah, and
he enacted it in February, buddy.
No, he did not. He did not. And as a matter of fact, March 18th is when New York City shut down. I'm calling.
And GM started making. And GM started making ventilators
on a voluntary basis, not because of
it wasn't. No, it wasn't. He didn't enforce it, but
he had a contract with GM. He signed. The government signed a contract with GM to produce ventilators.
He was trying to do that as a side privatization deal to show that there was a public-private partnership that could be better than if the
government did it.
Procurement Act.
Yeah.
I hope all of our family is listening to this guy, because this is what the woke media is all about.
When were those ventilators going to be delivered by General Motors? Middle of July.
So what?
They're
delivered. They're delivered. So what?
So how many dead
No
already?
American was denied a ventilator, sir.
There are
Not
only
one American during
100,000
this
ventilators.
situation has been denied a ventilator.
100,000 ventilators, and it was going to take them 90 days to make 100,000 ventilators. You could get a blacksmith to make them quicker than that.
All right. I got to go. Hey, we're giving you plenty of airtime, so we appreciate the call.
Stay safe.
Hey, thanks much. All right. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air. What's going on?
Hi, it's Gay.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, I'd like San Francisco to call his own damn local shows.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of listening to him bitch and cry about shit that don't matter to him at all.
Well, that's it. See, so all
just
views are welcome here.
I don't want to hear his drivel anymore. I think he's Nancy Pelosi's pool boy, and that's what I think.
All right.
So there you go.
All right.
Well,
Thanks a lot. Let's take another call.
The point is, this is what the president is dealing with in the media, academia, science, medicine, and government. As the previous phone call, Tom and I have said all views are welcome here. We love people coming in, having and expressing their opinion. But when you make an outright accusation, particularly against Tom and I, and then against your government, and it's not real, it's a false accusation, we have to say, that's what you're doing. So, but this is what you're dealing with woke media.
All right. Let's take another call real quick before we got to go to break. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Oh, hi. Is that me? This is Patty from Bozeman. Is that me?
That's you, baby. How you doing?
Oh, good morning, everybody, my wonderful radio family. I really like to hold until after the break unless I can start talking now and then come back. I have a lot of things, and I really wasn't going to call in this morning. I needed a nice, quiet, tranquil morning. I've had a week with Aaron Flint. I am so passionate about everything. I love our country. But that caller who just called, he got me off my chair and away from my coffee. And I started doing research. I hope he's still listening. The editor-in-chief of Vanity Fair, she went to Moscow and she did a lot of work in Moscow. So you got to look at it this way. I mean, when you start looking at people when they love the Russian history, Cuba, anything that becomes, or Bernie Sanders also went to Russia on his honeymoon. These are people that really love those ways of life, okay? If you look up, for the gentleman, it was really easy to do. Vanity Fair is connected also with the New York Times. The New York Times just had one of the writers she just quit. It was a whole big thing. I didn't have time to look everything up because there's just way too much to do, and I know I don't have a lot of time. But I also want to mention a lot of people drank the Kool-Aid. This is what they were hoping would happen. The science is there. There's this great website, Green Med Info, and this website talks all about health and healthy living. Right now, what's being thrown at us is they are propagating a sick society. They want people to be sick. They want people to be fearful. You don't even want to get a test because if you get tested and you have no symptoms, somehow you're still thrown in this pool of and once again, thank you, Shane. We are not discrediting this. This is a virus. This is real. We are dealing with the seriousness of something that happened to our country and the world.
Patty, got to hang on. We'll hold you over. We'll hold you over so you can talk to Shane off the air, and we'll be right back with more with Tom and Shane right after the news. Stay tuned. 26 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Saturday, August 1st, 2020, and we've got Patty on the line, and go, Patty, go.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Shane. God bless our radio family. God bless America. Have a great weekend. All right, I wanted to get that in so I don't in case I get cut off.
Okay.
I want to wish everybody a happy weekend. We are facing a crisis right now. We almost lost our country back in 2016. Actually, what they were doing back then, it was kind of under the rug, and we didn't even know about it really because they were so crafty at doing it. This election, this year, having Trump stir up the hornet's nest has given us a real view as to what really goes on in the swamp. And what we're looking at now is something that it's going to be either we have a free society, liberty, or we're going to have a complete socialist, communist, Marxist. I mean, I don't know how far left they want to take this, but their direction is to take this country down on the other side. If there's any person who can convince me that Joe Biden knows what he's talking about, I'll listen. But I'm watching the news. I have eyes. I have a brain. I can form my own opinion based on what I'm seeing. So nobody's allowed to tell me something where my inner being, my core, my education, my background, my life experience tells me this guy's, it actually is elder abuse. The man does not know what he's doing. He can't even put a sentence together. He doesn't even know where he is. The gaffes are just too many to list. So please, people, stop telling me that Joe Biden can run our country. It's not going to be him. It's going to be the other people who are going to use him as the puppet. So the vice president is actually going to be running our country.
Patty, I want to interrupt you because I want you to tell us who's he going to pick. I now think it's going to be Obama's wife.
Oh, no. I'm not even thinking about that, because right now what I want to try to have people see is that right now they're more comfortable dealing with a sick society rather than trying to have a healthy society. I've never heard Fauci say once, build up your immune system. That's the best defense against any virus. He's never said that, not even once. Now he wants us to wear goggles. Now he doesn't want people to shake hands. I mean, the man is doing complete separation. He's creating fear. He's creating a society of people that all you have to do is look at somebody and they'll think, oh, you have the virus, you're going to get me sick. I mean, what he's creating is such chaos. It's such, okay, so anyway, they're defunding the police. People, please don't tell me that's a good idea. I am so pro-blue. All right, they're bad apples in any organization, in any group. We could weed them out. We can get to the level where we want for our safety of people. But to say and defunding the police is, okay, and replace it with what? All right. They let prisoners out of jail. If the masks are so wonderful and work, why did they let prisoners out of jail? I mean, I can go on and on and on. You can't sing in church. Cuomo tells people chips are not a meal. I mean, when you start going down the list of the things that they throw at us, it just makes you say to yourself, what on earth are we witnessing here? What insanity. South Dakota functions like a normal place because their governor knows how to govern. She doesn't believe in locking down. She doesn't believe in anything but freedom and common sense and trusting the citizens of South Dakota. People, wake up. Look at South Dakota. They're living normal lives because they have a governor.
And look what she did when she had a spike at plants. You know, she put it down. Yep. She went in, cleaned it up, and stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
Our governor is doing so much damage. Right now, he's holding our state hostage. He's holding our children hostage. He is not working with the superintendent of the Office of Public Instruction. She wants to meet with him. She's got a plan. He is putting a deaf ear on her. He is avoiding her. He's not returning calls. This is all public information. He is holding our children hostage. He is doing everything he can to cripple our state. He's done plenty of damage, but the damage apparently isn't good enough. Now his the state mandate of masks. Thank God we have sheriffs that are saying they're not going to enforce it because they recognize that it's really not an enforceable thing that they can enforce. The Bozeman free, this is the city of Bozeman. Oh, we're going to hand out free masks. It's all about love. Give me a break, and I'll tell you why. They're the ones that were in the meeting with the health department in the county, the Gallatin County. They wouldn't even let us hold a meeting. They shut us down. So if it's not their narrative, it's no narrative. And the other thing too, nothing is for free. All right, they use tax dollars to buy those masks. Let me see the purchase order. Let me see how much they paid. They also were manufactured in China. I can go on and on and on. People have to wake up. We have to vote. Now, also the primaries. The elections, I didn't know this. I found out why our election poll places were closed. The Gallatin County closed them. So there's a lot of stuff going on. They're trying to do what they can to control what they want the outcome to be. We as Americans have every right to say no. Listen, if God forbid Joe Biden wins, and I'm saying it because anything's possible, which I pray in my heart that will not happen because I want to see America have 4 more years of prosperity. But if it does happen, it's going to be an honest election. That's all we want is an honest election. We don't want to corrupt in any way, shape, or form. What needs to be truthful voting, and that's all we're looking for both sides. So, I mean, we can go on and on. You have Jerry Nadler, who has also been on YouTube, and there's plenty of videos where, the mail-in ballots, not the absentee ballot, the corruption that comes from that. Jerry Nadler, he said it. He said that the Portland, Oregon riots, that's a myth. People, look at the news. CNN, MSNBC, those others, they're not showing it. A gentleman in Milwaukee got shot down, murdered in cold blood at 2:30 in front of his store. African-American man who had a Trump 2020 sign. Look it up. Nobody talks about it except Fox. I mean, I can go on and on and on because I have time and I care.
Well,
and I care about everybody.
I got a caller waiting, Patty, so.
Okay. I ranted. I'm sorry.
That's
I had
okay.
A lot to say. But people, please, have a wonderful day, and God bless everyone, and stay healthy.
All right, Patty. Thanks so much. All right. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
Hey, this is Chris, you guys.
Hey.
I didn't really want to interrupt Patty because she had it going on, didn't she?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Look,
if Shane ever can't be here, I may have to recruit Patty to come in and help me.
I've listened to her before, and she's always on the spot, and she's done her homework, and she's awake, and she's making a lot of good points. I want to bring something up that nobody's really talked about before. Is when this thing first started, and this virus happened, it hit me spiritually that I think they already have the vaccine, you guys. I think they already have it. They've had it, and they're waiting for us to demand it as a public. They're waiting for us to say we're tired of the mask and give us the vaccine because we want to get on with our lives. And they're just waiting for the masses to demand it. And they already have it, guys. I'm telling you, it's true. And that's gonna get scary. And that's where the rubber meets the road.
You're right, Chris. Chris, I think you may be right, which is why I did my rant on Fauci, because there are therapeutics that he's denying out there that help it, and he doesn't want to use them. And that's the only thing he's come up with other viruses in his 50 years at the Institute of or the National Institutes of Health.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they wouldn't have gone through this trouble without having a bigger plan in place. I mean, when you hear about private entities coming up with a virus, don't believe any of that. They are coming up with a virus vaccine. Don't believe it because they already have it. They've had it from the beginning. They had to have the vaccine when they had the virus, okay? Because this is a big plan. It's going to be drawn out for a long time. They're going to be waiting for the American public to demand the vaccine so we don't have to have masks anymore. Yeah. And I mean, we can go into the spiritual part of it, but I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, Patty mentioned a lot of good things. We got to get to the polls. This Biden is a puppet. Obviously, he can't even talk. He's got dementia. He's got all these problems. And I think it's going to be Kamala Harris, you guys, in a couple of days. What do you guys think about who he's going to elect as his VP running mate? What do you guys think?
Well,
she's no, because he's going to win California anyway. He's got to pick someone that's going to help his election. Yeah. Not, just not add to it.
Yeah.
You don't think it's going to be Kamala Harris?
I think it's going to be Obama's wife.
No, it's not going to be Michelle. She likes to be in charge.
That's why. Biden won't last 4 years as president. She'll be ending up as the first American black woman president.
Biden.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's going to be somebody that can actually speak on behalf of the Democrats.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm gonna go. I think it's gonna be Kamala Harris, guys, in a couple of days. He's gonna announce it.
Yeah. That's what Politico already kind of blew the whistle on that a little bit a couple of days ago. So, she seems to be the favorite. I always thought he ought to pick Duckworth, even though they don't need Illinois. But she's a veteran and disabled and a person of color, so you got all groups covered.
But she doesn't.
But as also pointed out, the lawn sign would read Biden Duckworth.
Yeah. What's a Biden Duckworth? So yeah.
Hey, I love you guys. Keep doing what you do.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for supporting us. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening. All right, appreciate it. All right, 522 Talk is the number. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
This is Meek, Daniel R. Peterson.
Dan.
I'll be the messenger, deliver the research. I won't do any shouting. In fact, I think I'll cheer up Shane with this. You should read this book called Plague of Corruption by Judy Mikovits. Judy Mikovits worked in the virus industry for 40 years. So her first book was called Plague. But since she's an insider whistleblower, she's called her next one Plague of Corruption. So she's gone through the whole pounding that people that are different to take. She had her computers confiscated. She was fired. She was even jailed for talking about how odd things are happening. Like here's an eye opener that you need a animal tissue as a carrier to carry the virus into injection, and there are certain injections, what do you call them, vaccinations, like rubella, hepatitis A, chickenpox, that use aborted human tissue. I just looked it up. It's in some sort of official site that you need something like that that'll carry the virus deep into the body.
Okay, I guess.
And yeah, they usually use mice, and often the mice are just tainted with all kinds of foreign viruses. So there got to be better ways of vaccination than using tainted flesh to try to get the virus set into the body.
Well, smarter people than me are working on it, so I don't know what to tell you, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's they primarily use eggs to grow the virus in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And the health food guy that I listen to a lot, Anthony William, he says don't eat eggs because viruses have learned that they're so delicious that you'll have a viral pig out if you start eating eggs, because the viruses will search those eggs out to feed on.
Wow. That must be what's wrong with me, because I eat eggs daily.
Yeah, well,
So do I.
Yeah.
Here's a word to the wise. He's been writing about certain things.
Yeah.
And eggs are one of the worst things to eat.
Well, I put a little mayonnaise and mustard on them, so you know it's sort of that kills the virus, from what I understand.
And bacon. We can't forget bacon.
Bacon, yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got to eat.
Yeah, that's funny. Good.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for the call.
Okay.
All right, take it easy. We're getting backed up here on our text line here. Good radio from one of our listeners, 478-8298, with what we're going on. Let's see. Tom, I'm incredibly grateful that your CBD has been rated #1 in the MLM aspect. I can now finally sleep at night. How wonderful to know. Thanks, Tom. Bet you'll read this one. Your last ranting caller with Shane was a perfect example of what happens when you subscribe to the G. Gordon Liddy newsletter. I'm sure he's a lifelong subscriber, another less passionate but misinformed, crazy liberal zealot. Easy for me to say. Oh my God, 4 more years of twerking in the White House. Classy. I don't know about that. Let's see, regarding David from San Francisco, good thing he reads Vanity Fair. What a nut. And love Patty. You go, girl. All right. And just remember, Shane and all you Trumpsters, your president with the incredibly large brain says you should follow the advice of a doctor who believes that demons impregnate people in their sleep and we have alien DNA, let alone thinks injecting bleach might be a good idea, and that you should nuke hurricanes. And these are all things he said or tweeted, and you're absolutely right. He has said or tweeted all those things. Shane is wrong. Trump did not ban flights from China, just Chinese, because he was mad at China. Okay, I don't know, Shane.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Cuomo followed Trump's CDC protocol to send to nursing homes.
That's good. We know that.
Yeah. GM made ventilators because nobody was buying cars. Sell them for 50 grand, taxpayers paying. Caller is honest. She doesn't want to hear other views. That woman's website is quackery. David again. This guy makes my head hurt. Is it true that if you die from, say, the flu, you test positive for COVID-19, your death is attributed to COVID-19? Well, in most cases, that's probably true, I think, Shane.
Yes. Yeah, H1N1 is a COVID virus.
Yeah, so, they're going to do it. COVID-19 eugenics for us older people, that would make Margaret Sanger proud. Why is it Trump haters refuse to allow response and talk over you? So, I don't know. Anyway, let's take some more calls. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
Well, my name is Pete.
Hey, Pete.
How you boys doing?
Living our dream here, man. Living our dream.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Hello, Pete.
Hello. You know, Dave, fight me.
Yeah.
Go away. You know, you can't help if you just looked at one thing, you can't help but to think that something's drastically wrong here, and that's the fact that anybody who has anything to say about a therapy for COVID is banned from everything. You know, it's like we're living in a digital gulag.
Yeah.
Can't say anything.
No,
So
you
I think
can't.
We need this. We need to start a new movement. It's going to be defund the federal government movement.
Yeah.
Leave the police alone, okay? And I'm tired. You listen to the news and you hear, oh, the progressives, the liberals, or even the socialists, they're communists. Period. That's what they are. They're communists. And those who are voting these retards into office are communists right along with them. You know, give me a break. I've watched the numbers, Tom, for Montana every day.
Mm-hmm.
And for over a month, the death rate has been 0.0143
Yeah.
or 2 or 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It went up yesterday to 0.0152. That
Same mortality rate as the H1N1, by the way.
Well, I'm just looking at Montana. I'm not looking at the whole country. I'm just looking at this state.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that the mortality rate for COVID-19 is the same mortality rate for H1N1.
Well,
the flu.
Yeah, you look at pneumonia and the flu. If you look at those numbers and you graph them with the number I gave you, the graphs are almost exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no difference, you know.
I know.
But like you said, we didn't shut down then.
Yeah.
This is the biggest hoax that I've ever seen. Maybe the only bigger one was 9/11. I don't know, but that's baloney. And we got to remember, what did Obama say when he first got into office? We need a civilian army that's as big and strong and well equipped as our military. Well, you got it.
Yeah.
It's called BLM, Antifa, and the rest of them. You know, how many people have these guys killed?
Yeah.
By letting criminals out of jail.
And as Patty pointed out, why aren't they just handing them all masks? Because the great Dr. Fauci says, being alone inside with a mask on, you're protected.
Well, like I said many times, look into Dr. Fauci's history. You know, the biggest smile ever seen on his face was when they came out and said, Remdesivir is showing profits. You know what Remdesivir is? It was a treatment for AIDS that failed its initial test by the FDA, and it was never heard from again until COVID came along, and now, boom.
A therapeutic, right. Not a vaccine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's this. The thing is, we may get a vaccine, but I ain't taking it. I'll tell you right now. These people in their vaccines, and you look at the revolving door between Pharma and the companies like Monsanto and the FDA and the CDC, and it's amazing. And who failed us in the beginning? They did. The CDC failed. No masks, no ventilators, no tests, no nothing. And the FDA ain't any better. They're not any better.
Yeah, I think only 40% of the people in some poll I saw are willing to take a vaccine.
Well, you got to be crazy, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, I last time I checked with Vanity Fair, they weren't a medical journal, Yeah. And now they got an open mic between the top editor at Lancet and the top editor at New England Journal of Medicine, saying that they're owned and run by the big pharma companies. They didn't know.
Well, now we're fine.
Yeah. So everything's okay.
Let us remind the public a vaccine is a diluted form of the virus that your body needs to fight. So if this one's so toxic, why would you inject it in your body?
Right. Exactly. And the things that they use in them. The WHO came out and they had a big meeting. It was all over the internet. The meeting was all over the internet, saying that our frontline doctors are afraid that they're balking at these vaccines.
Yeah.
Frontline, all over the world.
All right. Gotta go, Pete. Hey, thanks for the call, man.
You bet. Later.
Always a pleasure. All right. Shane, we got a caller waiting on the line. If you can chat with them, we're going to take a short break here at the top of the hour. When we come back, we will have the new COVID numbers for you for Montana, and we'll see what kind of cases we have and if anything has changed and how much and whatever. So stay tuned for that. We've still got a full hour to go, so stay tuned. 7 minutes after the hour, it's Saturday, August 1st, 2020. Believe it or not. Wow. We're in the 1st of August already. Shane has a caller on the line patiently waiting, so let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on. What's up?
Oh, hi, Tom. This is Patty. I'm so sorry to double dip, but I just wanted to address the person that sent in a text about the green med info being quackery.
Mm-hmm.
Please recognize I did not put that website out there lightly. I have done my homework. If somebody wants to think that a 2-second fact check satisfies their curiosity about what's really going on, I feel so sorry for them, because the people that are doing the fact checking are controlling the narrative. Big tech is telling people where to go. So if you don't have the curiosity and the desire to look a little deeper, you're only going to see these quackeries, and the fact check people are the ones that are controlling where they want you to go and what they want you to believe. So please go to the website. If you go to his Instagram account, there are so many videos. There are so many factual, scientific. He has been targeted. He has been censored off of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is owned by Bill Gates. He was a LinkedIn member for over 10 years, and now all of a sudden, because he's putting out what he believes to be, and he comes up with everything factually, data-driven. This gentleman's wife is a doctor. This is not just somebody who's willy-nilly trying to quackery people into he is not even funded by advertisements. The only money that's generated is by a membership or by donations. So nobody owns this person. This person is a free man to just be who he is. And you either take his information and learn for yourself, or fact check it for 2 seconds and consider that good enough.
All right.
So for anybody who wants
give the site again, if you would, for people.
Okay, it's Green Med Info. So you can go to his Instagram.
Yeah.
You can .com. You can go to his Instagram. You can go to his regular website. He has had videos taken down. So the only way you get his videos is if you're part of his newsletter.
Okay, we got it, Patty.
Yeah.
We got it, Patty. Thank you.
Yeah,
Troy, I hope this person's listening. Please do your homework. I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
All right.
I'm trying to help people.
Thanks much.
All righty.
Okay.
Have a happy day.
Yeah. Bye-bye. All right. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you're on the air. What's your name? What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. This
Hey.
is Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, here you had on some butthurt liberal that went on and on with an ignorant diatribe and how Trump was trying to kill people and everything else. And, it's people like that when they go to the voting booth and he's going to vote for Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. Well, he called himself Lunch Bucket Joe. I think he's more like Out to Lunch Joe. But, when people like that are so ignorant, they spend so much time with their lives full of hatred towards the President of the United States, who's out there trying to do his darndest to do everything possible with this virus. It's pathetic is what it is. But I've got my Trump 2020 face masks in the mail. They should be showing up here pretty soon.
All right.
I'm afraid to have a Trump sign or a Trump bumper sticker because the radicals would key my car or tear down my my flag or whatever it was. So this is the world that we live in today. So, and it's it's going to get worse because there's a lot of things about this virus that people aren't really thinking about, and the financial devastation that's going to continue with this thing is going to be unprecedented. If you just take one aspect of our economy, let's say sports, even here in Bozeman now, if the Bobcats can't play home games, do you realize how many tens and tens of thousands of dollars of revenue that will not come into the local businesses?
Oh, yeah, it's major.
And then that's just one. And then, like, say, professional sports, that's a multi-million dollar. You have a football game between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, and there's probably going to be $1 million that would flow into the community just during the football game at the bars, the restaurants, the hotels.
Oh, yeah, no question.
And it's on. And then the not going back to school thing. My daughter lives down in San Diego. She's got 3 little kids. She's divorced, unfortunately. But I guess in California, they're trying to have some set up where they go to school for 2 days, and then they don't go to school, and then there's a half day or whatever. And how are parents going to coordinate that type of thing with going to work?
Well, that's the issue, that should we have even been shut down in the first place? I don't know, but we were, but so
yeah, I never even wore them. I'm 65, 64, I guess. I never even wore a mask in any of the stores to speak of until they mandated it. And I've had a lot of health issues over the years, but I don't know. It's disheartening wherever you go and you see people with masks on. I've run into a couple different people. So I didn't even know who they were because they had the mask on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Talking to somebody the other day, if you smile at somebody, how they know?
Yeah, it gets start happening.
The reality is wearing a mask is a cover-up.
Yeah.
You got to start winking at them, I guess.
I guess that's it. Yeah, I don't know if my wife's going to go for that or not.
Yeah, well, if she catches you winking at the other girl, she might not like
That's
it too
true.
much.
Yeah.
You'd be in the doghouse for sure, Tom.
Amen. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Thanks for your point of view. All right, take care. Let's see. We got some results coming in from on the virus here locally. We've had our second death in Gallatin, and we've got one death in Madison, none in Park County yet, thankfully. That's good news. We do have 117 new cases. There are 16 in Gallatin. We've got a couple in in Madison and none in Park County at the moment. I think we got one in Madison, if I remember correctly. One new case in Madison. They've got 21 active cases going on over there. In our little corner of the world here, this map is ridiculous. But in active cases, we're at 61 deaths now. So that's certainly an issue. But let's see, trying to get my map up here to work.
Overnight in British Columbia, we had 50 more cases, 3,641. Another lost soul. We're at 195 in people who have passed. And recovered is up 13%. So we have less than 300 people, less than 10% recovering, but have not yet recovered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've got 71 hospitalizations, so that's not too bad, obviously. Active cases right now going on in our area. We've got 152 active cases in Gallatin, and we've had we've had of 864 cases, we've got 152 that are active now. Park County has 7 active cases. Madison has 21. And as I said, we've got 71 active hospitalizations for the entire state, so that's not too bad. Almost all the states have, or all the counties have had somewhat of a some cases. There's only 4 counties so far that haven't had any cases, but right now there's a bunch of counties that have no active cases at all. So that's good news that most of the middle of the state has 0 to 1 to 2. And but Billings right now has got 550 active cases. Some of those are in nursing homes. Also, those could be brought into Billings from the surrounding tribes. That's always possible. And a Bighorn has 203. So Yellowstone's had 1,048 cases compared with Gallatin that has 864, but only 152 are active at the moment. So all in all, we've done pretty well. We do have 61 deaths now. We got another death overnight, and but still, for 1 million people, that's still a pretty good mortality rate, I would say. So
it's remarkable. It actually is.
Yeah. Well, particularly in our state, because you have to travel in this state to go get goods and services. People from Park County come over here, obviously. People in Three Forks go to Butte or here. It's about the same distance either way. And, you got Missoula County up there. A lot of people go into Missoula for a variety of things. They're at 122 active cases. So, I think for the most part, we're pretty fortunate that for 1 million people, we've only had 4,000 cases since the beginning. And so that's pretty good. Over half of them have recovered. 2,456 have recovered. So for the whole state, we have 1,500 active cases. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, and nationally, they've done 59 million tests. So, that's only 5% of your population.
Yeah.
And so when you compare to the number of people that have been infected with the testing that they've done nationally, you're doing incredibly well, I think, in the case of how bad we're told the virus is. So, yes, there's more cases, there's more deaths because they're testing more people, but not as drastic as everyone's been led to believe. Although they've now said by November, 230,000 Americans may have died from this. We'll wait and see what those results are, but it's pretty quite amazing.
Yeah, I think they're talking about 30,000 more will die in August. 30,000 more nationwide will die in August. And so not all states have a mandatory mask that we have here. You have to, wear masks wherever you go, I guess. So, and to me, it's not a big deal to do that. I don't know if a mask protects you that much or not, but what the heck,
53 million tests would be 15% of your population.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. So, all right, well, let's take some calls. See what the callers have on their minds. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
Yeah, this is Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hey, your guy that's generated so many calls way back yonder.
Yeah.
He needs to stay quarantine and call you every
yeah.
Saturday.
Well, I think he is quarantined there. They shut down San Francisco, I think. They've only had 50 deaths in that county, so that's pretty good for them.
Well, anyway, I always check Vanity Fair when I want to get good information. That's my primary source of go-to there. And, he needs to talk to Pandora or maybe Jeannie and say, we need those ventilators like yesterday. Can you just wiggle your nose or snap your finger or whatever? And
where's Elizabeth Montgomery when you need her, huh?
No kidding. And 1 out of 3 Floridians died?
Yeah.
Or he said that at one point. 1 out of 3 have died.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't mean total, but you gotta qualify how you say things.
True.
Any which way, get that guy back on. I hope he calls every Saturday. That was so entertaining.
Oh yeah, no, all views are welcome here. Anybody's welcome to call, and we're not going to make fun of you. We're not going to beat you up or anything. But
come on, you can have a little fun.
Well, we can have fun, yeah. But
anyway,
okay.
I hope you weren't put off by me calling him out.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day. Bye.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Let's take one more call. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's up?
Oh, I got to give my name?
Well, you don't have to, I guess. You can make up a name. You can call. I'll call you Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Mr. Okay, hey, man. So, here's something for you about masks. Why do I hide behind this mask? Please do not see what I am feeling. I do not want you to truly see what I am not saying. I can hide myself behind this mask. I am dishonest, hurting from my past, my present, yet my soul hurts. So because I can't be with others where my mask hides honesty that God wants you to see. Who am I, is asked. Still born in America, I answer. Yet, what's next? Please allow me to be as we want you to be. But who can we do to you? We do not want you to rectify what has become. Please, Jesus, just help us find a way out of this.
All right.
Help us find this way. Help us find the correct path. And so that's kind of like an anonymous deal that I got. But ran into an injured guy yesterday, and he comes up asking for water. Yeah, okay. So and I didn't put on my my rubber gloves and my mask and my goggles.
Yeah.
But you know what? We just field dressed him and got him down his path.
All right. Good for you.
That's how you're supposed to be in life.
That's for sure.
You let your whatever spirit's in your heart, you follow that, and it's just be good to another person when they come your way. So, anyway,
amen.
You guys have a good day. Yeah. Hey, Shane. God bless you, brother. Bye-bye.
All right.
You.
Let's see from our app chat line. Let's get Patty on the show in studio. There you go, Shane. Let's see. Ask Jacobus about polio vaccine. It came at the end of the epidemic when the virus couldn't find another host. The world had built up a herd immunity to it. Well, I don't believe they built up a herd immunity to polio. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
the virus.
Yeah,
overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. Fauci was talking to teachers and suggested eye protection and shields for teachers, and yeah, they may need that, So, let's see, 99 highway deaths in Montana. Paul sends that in, and another thing for Clint, the specificity and sensitivity of the PCR is 90% plus 10% false positive and false negatives. But more work is needed with the coronavirus. So with the cultures to see how long they're infectious. And,
what he's referencing is the possibility of false positive testing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Patty's being lied to, and if you promote this website, you're putting your listeners in danger. Well, we put our listeners in danger every Saturday when we come on the air. So.
I just have one comment. First Amendment.
Yeah. Yep. All views are welcome here. So let the buyer beware. Trump's new favorite COVID doctor believes in alien DNA, demon sperm, and hydroxychloroquine. And Shane believes her to be credible, too. So I don't know if Shane even commented on her or not. So
I don't even talking about.
Yeah. Look who owns Patty's website. I think she went into that. She probably believes the Demon Seed video too. Let's see. Conspiracy kooks used to be confined to Alex Jones, and now they are all day long on AM radio. I'm so scared that people actually believe this stuff. Well, if it's out there, you can look at it and decide. It's pretty easy. We enjoy wearing welding helmets, no facial recognition at Wally World, and yes, eye protection too. San Francisco boy, stay where you are. We don't want AIDS community here. Let's see. Wow, didn't know Vanity Fair is a science and medical publication. It's from our text line. Let's see. The recorded weather is 2 weeks old, and Fox News at the bottom of the hour has been the same since Monday. I was going to say, I think the Fox News sounded pretty familiar to me, but I record the weather every morning during the week and for the weekend. And granted, our forecast has been pretty much the same, so it may sound the same. So I don't know. He may be recording the same weather every day, but I don't know. But anyway, he's pretty consistent with it's going to be 80s and 90s, and that's about it for the weather. So they may be slightly different, but they do sound alike. That's for sure. Fauci said he's leaving mask rules to someone else during this week's questioning. So that should.
I followed it up with saying you should wear a mask when in public. Don't gather in large crowds.
Yeah.
And don't have large amounts of people in your home. So, that's why I say you have to be real careful when you listen to what Fauci says.
Yeah.
He's against something before he's for it, and then he's for something before he's against it.
That's for sure. Let's see. Also from our text line, this one for you, Shane, 4788298. Can you get Shane to stop talking out of his rectum? So, well, if you've got alternate viewpoints, Shane's happy to entertain them.
Just let that person know that I have attempted that, but I roll my R's, so I tend to use my mouth.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I want to have a beer with Patty from our text line. Shane believes Dr. Emmanuel Demon Seed DNA doctor. We went into that. Video produced by a political PAC taken down for spreading false medical advice. Masks don't work. So
well, everyone that's sending these texts in referring to a devil's seed doctor, please give us the doctor's name.
Yeah.
So we can, investigate.
Yeah, there you are. We're happy to do that. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this segment here. Bottom of the hour coming up. We still got a full half hour to go, and we appreciate everybody listening and all the callers, texters, and all of that. So we still got a lot more to do and talk about, so stay tuned. We'll be back right after the news at the bottom of the hour. And more likely it'll be the same news, so until we can get it fixed. We'll be right back. I tried to take that Fox News out and just blew it. So we'll see what happens at the top of the hour. But yeah, the Fox News has been repeating, so I decided to take it out, and then it flipped over to the end music. So we'll see what happens when we get to the top of the hour here. It may go completely crazy, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So anyway. Let's see. I think we're caught up on all our texts and all of that. Let's see. From our text line, what do we got here? Stella Emanuel is the woman in the hydroxychloroquine video calling it the cure. Emanuel, a pediatrician and a religious minister, has a history of making bizarre claims about medical topics and other issues. She has often claimed that gynecological problems like cysts and endometriosis are whatever that is. I never can pronounce that stuff. In fact, caused people having sex in their dreams with demons and witches. She alleges alien DNA is currently used in medical treatments and that scientists are cooking up a vaccine to prevent people from becoming religious. And despite appearing in Washington, D.C. to lobby Congress on Monday, she has said the government is run in part not by humans, but by reptilians and other aliens. So there you are. So you can check her out, Shane. And he references the BBC. So you can go over to your favorite BBC and check that out. So there you go. Let's see. Also for our text line, the guy from California, David, needs to go volunteer at New York nursing homes and read Vanity Fair to the elderly. There you go. That's a good one there. So that's right. So. All right. Well, we still have a half hour here to go on the morning show with Tom and Shane. And well, in other news, Shane, there's a thing that we talked yesterday about the NBA a little bit. Orlando Magic forward Jonathan Isaac did not kneel for the national anthem and didn't wear the Black Lives T-shirt and all of that. And he claims that it's not wearing the shirt doesn't go hand in hand with supporting Black lives. So he doesn't agree with the wearing of the T-shirts and the Black Lives Matter on the court and all that. So.
Well, Eagle Man, you're right. You covered it in our podcast. Mm-hmm. Sports are for us to be entertained and to enjoy, and they shouldn't be politicized. And there's no reason for anyone to politicize any kind of athletic event that people are utilizing to have something in their life that's not political.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. Let's take a call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the air with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
It's been a long time.
Well, we're still here, like it or not.
Yeah. Whether or not that lady's crazy, I don't know. But you know what? There's a lot of doctors that think hydroxychloroquine works, and they're using it on their patients, and it's not, obviously you already know this, it's not just by itself. They're using it with other things. It's like it helps the cells
Z-Pack.
absorb.
The Z-Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they skirt around the issue like, well, hydroxychloroquine doesn't work. Well, yeah, by itself it doesn't cure anything, right? Or maybe it does, but you got to have other things. It's helping the process.
It's a treatment.
And you got guys saving people's lives, and then they're just cutting them off like they don't exist. There's hundreds and hundreds of doctors, you know?
Yeah.
Same with those guys out of California. Remember those guys in, like, what was it, May or March? I can't remember.
Yeah, the two doctors on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those guys seem so legit, and then I don't know.
Well,
but anyway,
yeah.
They are politicizing everything. So they're politicizing medicine, they're politicizing sports, everything.
Yeah, it would be interesting if this wasn't an election year, how this would be handled differently, or if it would be at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
you're absolutely right, Eagle.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But how do we ever go back to like some semblance of normality? Like,
yeah,
what's going to happen with our kids in school?
By getting out in November.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do that. But...
Yeah. When am I not going to take my shoes off at the airport or my belt or whatever? I mean, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, Tom, you're a terrorist.
Yeah, going back to normalcy is something that I don't know, man. I don't know. The new normal is the new normal is abnormal.
You ever go to the store? I go to the store and I won't have a mask on, and I look at people. I'm like, "Are you sick?
Yeah.
What is wrong? What's going on? Why does everyone?"
Yeah. I just want you to be comforted. Since the airline industry has been shut down, as we all know, the TSA has not, and they're still being paid.
Yeah.
Right.
They're being paid not to look in your luggage, not to examine your undies.
Or smell your shoes.
Yeah, right.
Well, I just don't fly. I don't even know. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are they going to do when you have to have a vaccine or proof of whatever?
Yeah. No, but you'll have to carry your paperwork in a separate suitcase.
Instead of wearing a face mask, you'll be ordered to wear an armband.
Yeah.
Well, you won't have to carry it around because Bill Gates will give you a digital tattoo on your arm.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, we'll have those little things injected in you. Those little jobbies.
You won't have to carry anything.
Yeah,
It'll just
there
be
you
like
are.
go along.
They'll tattoo a barcode on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you won't see it either. Like, you bring your kid into the health department, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we got him."
Yep.
And then they're good.
Hey, thanks, man. Pleasure.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Take care.
All right, take it easy. Yeah. Go ahead, Jane.
No, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm enjoying the call.
Okay.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
From the beginning, the Medicare race incentivized this pandemic by $13,000 for a COVID diagnosis.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we lost that call. Sorry. Give us a call back. We lost your connection somehow there, so sorry about that. Let's see. From our text line, I hear all day long on KMMS talk shows hosts defending Dr. Emanuel because the deep state is keeping the cure hydroxychloroquine from us, and they don't. They don't know who made that propaganda video or how quacky that doctor is. They have been numerous studies that show the drug doesn't work and can cause harm. The only reason is because they want to prove Trump was right. He was not. Stop it. Well, when it comes to hydroxychloroquine or any other item, that's up to you and your doctor, as to whether or not it'll work.
Number one, the FDA approved this drug 75 years ago. It's been used with lupus and other diseases to cure them.
Yeah.
Or to manage people's lifestyle, to live with them. So please don't make that kind of a statement. This is a proven drug. It's been approved by the FDA. They're restricting its use in the case of COVID. Who knows why? But we'll see where it ends up. But folks, this is a very poor example to make that accusation.
Yeah, because none of us have had medical training, so give us a break.
Okay. Exactly.
So if again, you can say that injecting bleach works, but no doctor's going to inject bleach into you. Okay, so just put that to rest. Joe Balliot, a well-known politician here, said it cured him on Aaron Flint's show. So apparently he took the hydroxychloroquine with other things, probably.
Look, you and I know this, Eagle Man. Look, since Roe versus Wade, a woman's body is a discussion between her and a doctor. When did that change with everyone else with regard to COVID? Why is it that there's this practicality and there's precedent out there about you and your doctor have to make these decisions, about abortion and nobody else, and yet here we are being told that you and your doctor can't make a decision about a drug that's been around for 75 years and approved. It's ridiculous.
That's right. Well, hey, it's just good press, if you say something doesn't work and then, Trump wants to kill you and, come on. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on with Tom and Shane. Thanks for waiting. What's up?
I have to apologize. This is Patty triple dipping.
Patty, you can't triple dip here.
But the reason why I had to call in, because I just want to point this out for those who might have forgotten or for those who don't know, but there was a Michigan Democrat who was very, very sick with the virus. Her husband just happened to be watching something, heard about hydroxychloroquine, called, told her, tell your doctor. She got better. She thanked Trump. And you know how she got thanked by her Democratic Party? She was, well, I'm not sure if she actually got censored, but she was...
vilified,
Yes, she was censured and possibly barred from any future endorsement. Please look it up. And listen, nothing is 100% absolute. As human beings, we have the right to think. We have the right to be critical thinkers and choose for ourselves. And that's all. I'm not asking anybody to believe what I'm saying. Don't believe me. Do your own homework. But please remember, this should not be political.
Thanks.
But if that doesn't take it to the political level, I don't know what will.
All right. Thanks, Patty. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, do your homework. And, Shane, Shane continues to make stupid statement. Hydroxychloroquine is proven for malaria, not COVID. It has been studied and it does not work. Full stop. So then,
well, I by the way, I didn't mention malaria, but you're right. But lupus is the major use for it, and it's been successfully used for 75 years. Yeah, bite me.
Yeah. And Joe Ballott's story is not scientific. It's not. Now Patty's talking about stories, not studies. The anti-science people are making me scream. There's no such thing as settled science, in case you haven't heard. That's otherwise we would we'd still be using leeches and putting candles under glasses on kids' chests to suck stuff out.
And that's why you have all these government agencies like the FDA that settles the difference between theory and fact.
Right.
If they come to a conclusion it's fact, then it's legalized. That's the difference.
Yeah. So yeah, and we do have an FDA that has approved these drugs. And as I said a million times, whether it works or not is up to you and your doctor and your specific circumstance and your health and whatever your current situation is. If that wasn't the case, there would only be one drug. If it worked for everybody, there'd just be one. We wouldn't need a doctor. We just go down at the pharmacy. Yeah.
Haven't you heard? It's called aspirin.
Yeah, I was going to say, give me the Tom and Shane drug. It cures all. No more dandruff, no more bad breath, no more COVID-19. No
that drug.
Yeah. No measles, no mumps, no diphtheria, whatever.
No warts.
One size cures all. So. Let's see, Patty, do your homework. Go to my wacky website run by crazy con men. Don't listen to real accredited doctors. Well, to the texter, I would say, hey, do your own homework. Then, if you're, I'm not sure why you're attacking somebody for their opinion. Send me the website that, text me the website that, contradicts what Patty's saying, and we'll be happy to talk about it. So, people are entitled to their opinions. They are.
Yes, it's called free.
It's called free speech. Yeah. We are the epitome. If you look up free speech in the dictionary, you find Tom and Shane. You just do.
It's actually a nice picture of me.
It is, yeah. It's before the hair went gray. It's actually, it's the high school picture if you look it up. But just because somebody calls in and says, "Well, this works or that works or whatever," that it's up to you to do your own fact checking. It's up to you to do your own homework. Anything is said on talk radio may or may not be accurate. So. It's up to you to research candidates. It's up to you to, read conflicting viewpoints on various topics. And rather than
it'd be great if there was a doctor out there listening to us that would have or be willing to come on and, talk to us about hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
And just, get medical observation. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, why not? And as I said, I don't believe any drug is foolproof in every case. But, now we're not making claims. Stop making claims hydroxychloroquine could work for COVID. Tell them to ask their doctor, not Shane. And that's exactly what we just said. Didn't we just say that? Didn't I just say that?
I think we've been saying.
Yeah,
we've been saying it for 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I think your doctor's probably a good source of information for what ails you.
I would think.
Yeah. So, we're not claiming anything works, but several people have said that it is one of the tools that they are using to fight this virus. And
go read Journal American Medical Association. It's called JAMA, JAMA.
Yeah.
And you'll see all the reports and all the studies about this therapeutic drug and what doctors think about it. It's all the information's out there. It's very transparent.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see here. Keeps moving. Caution against using hydroxychloroquine or chloroquine for COVID-19 outside a hospital setting. Why would you? How do you get it outside of a hospital setting? I mean, it's
from your doctor, so you don't end up in the hospital.
It's prescribable, isn't it? So whether or not it will help you in particular is up to you and your doctor. If your doctor doesn't think it's going to help you, then I'm sorry, he or she's not going to prescribe it for you. We'll go with something else. We'll go with the Z-Pack. Exactly. We'll go with any number of other things. Let's take some calls real quick, and then we got to go. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air. What's up?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing today? Good. Hey, this is James. I'm still chuckling over that call from Dave in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I don't think you could write better humor than that. What's your source? Oh, I read Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the sad thing is even when I talk to people like that, they take themselves so seriously. They don't want to hear anything different.
Well, that's the thing. They seek out only information that confirms what they think. I mean, they don't look at it. Yeah, Shane and I have to look at opposing views because we need to be informed on these things, and the same with hydroxychloroquine. We're not promoting it. We're not saying it works for everybody, but
we're
it's out
questioning
there.
Why. Yeah, why is it being attacked?
Yeah. Because a doctor's either going to use it or they're not.
That's right.
Take your pick.
Yeah, and that's between you and your doctor. So
exactly, sure, yeah.
But anyway, I was still chuckling over that call because these people take them so seriously. But if they actually listen to themselves, I guess they don't. So.
Well, I hope they'll listen to the replay.
Or download it. Download
the replay.
Yeah. I guess if I had one word of advice for Dave there, if he's going to make a fool of himself in public, at least put a clown hat on so we'll know that you're serious.
Yeah. There you go.
Or honest or whatever. Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Show, and just wanted to wish you a wonderful weekend.
Well, we appreciate that. Thanks very much. All right. Let's take one more call. Probably, I don't know. We might have time for another call or two. But caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's going on?
Hey, guys. It's Mayor.
Hey, Mayor.
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question for all the wizards of smart out there. How many drug advertisements do you see on TV with this side effect and that side effect, and actually the side effects are worse than the disease?
Yeah.
And nobody says anything about that. And those are all relatively new drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So this one that's been around for 65 years, everybody's having a problem with it.
Yeah.
There's people. Sean Hannity had one of his best friends. They told him to, basically say goodbye to all of his family, and they put him on the hydroxychloroquine, and the guy's still alive. He lives.
Yeah.
So, it's like with anything else. If you go into the doctor, they're not really sure what's wrong with you. They may try various different medications till they find something that works. So why would we take something off the market or have a problem with it if it may work? It may not for everybody, like it's been said. I have a friend that has lupus, and she's been on it for years. She said she hasn't had any side effects from it, and it's worked great. So, what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
Other than your life.
Yeah.
So I would be, let's try it. I mean,
That's a big thing, Mayor.
Absolutely, and they're demonizing a drug when we've got drugs that have side effects far worse than the supposed side effects of this drug. So,
well, that's for sure.
And how many of those television, Mayor, tell you this could kill you?
Yeah.
Well, and they don't say anything about this one could do. I mean, the side effects are fairly minimal compared to, like if you have restless leg syndrome, you could become a gambler.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put this thing in perspective, it's all stupid. So I would say,
Mary, you're a breath of fresh air.
I would say for some of these guys that are on here saying it's not a good drug, put your mask on and shut up and let the people that have the disease make that choice for themselves if they want to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up to them and their doctor. They can't get it without a doctor saying it's okay to take it. So what's the problem?
This is a borderline insanity. I'm so sick of all of it. I go everywhere in this town and I don't wear a mask because I refuse to wear a mask. And I have yet to be confronted, but apparently some guy in Belgrade, Albertson, pulled a knife on some woman who didn't have a mask on.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. If you do that to me, I happen to have a concealed weapon, and I would say to him, don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah. There you are.
So
hey, thanks.
That's my rant for the day.
All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see from our text line. It just keeps on coming. Trump cult are pushing hydroxychloroquine because Trump was pushing it. I don't know of a single doctor in America that says, oh, Trump wants me to use hydroxychloroquine. Nurse, get a supply ordered because Trump says it's okay. So we're going to do that. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to point out to everyone listening that your president knows what he thinks of Dr. Fauci when he sat down with his doctors in the White House and made a determination for him, and he made a decision, and he took it.
Yeah.
So there you go, folks. There's your answer. That's what your president thinks of Dr. Fauci and his yank against this drug and therapeutical drugs as a whole.
The CDC and the FDA have advised not to use hydroxychloroquine for COVID because it has not been proven, or it has been proven not to work for COVID and can cause harm. Why is this so hard to understand? It's not hard to understand at all. If it doesn't help you, it won't. And we're out of here.